Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the Forecaster's Toolkit. Everything from the tried and true methods every finance team relies on, all the way to the AI that's completely redefining what's possible. You know, this one question, what will happen next? It is literally the engine of finance. It drives everything. We're talking budgeting for operating expenses, managing cash flow, all the way to forecasting next quarter's revenue. Getting this right is absolutely the name of the game. But before we can even attempt to answer that question, we've got to get a handle on the data itself. It's not just a random collection of numbers you see. It has a very unique structure that we have to account for. And that data is called time series data. The best way to think about it, honestly, it's like a story. The order of events totally matters. There's an overall plot, right? That's your long-term trend. Then you have these reoccurring themes, like a holiday sales rush. That's the seasonality. And of course, every good story has unexpected plot twists. Those are the shocks. Understanding this structure is the key to predicting what happens next. Okay, let's get into it. We're opening up that first tray of the toolkit, and inside are the foundational models. I mean, these are the absolute classics that every single finance and accounting team should know inside and out. Now, you might be thinking, why are we starting here? Why not jump straight to the flashy AI stuff? Well, the answer is actually really simple. These foundational tools are essential for a reason. They're transparent, they're easy to explain, and, this is crucial, they provide a baseline. If your fancy, complex model can't beat a simple one, it's just not worth the headache. So this gives you a fantastic bird's-eye view of those core tools. You've got the Naïve model, super simple, basically says, next month will be like last month. Sounds basic, right? But it's perfect for really stable costs. Then, exponential smoothing kicks it up a notch, bringing in trends and seasonality, which is great for sales forecasts. And then there's ARIMA, the statistical workhorse of the group, which can handle more complex stuff like credit loss reserves. But let's be real. Business is rarely a simple straight line, is it? What happens when your sales are driven by dozens of different factors, everything from marketing campaigns to weird economic indicators? Well, that's when the traditional toolkit starts to feel a little strained, and that's when we need an upgrade. Okay, so this is where we get to the power tools in our kit. These machine learning models are designed specifically to handle the complexity of modern data, and they are amazing at uncovering patterns that would otherwise just stay hidden. First up, we have Profit, which comes from Meta. And this thing is a real game changer for business forecasting. And here's why. It automatically gets things like Black Friday sales or national holidays. You don't need to be a PhD-level data scientist to use it, which makes it incredibly powerful for finance teams just trying to figure out next month's revenue. Next up, you've got your tree-based models like XGBoost. Think of these as the heavy lifters of machine learning. They are just brilliant at finding these really complex, non-obvious patterns in your data. So, for example, if you're trying to predict when a customer might pay off their loan, it's not a simple straight line. XGBoost can weigh all those different factors, interest rates, income, market trends, to make a much more accurate call. And now we are at the real cutting edge of the toolkit. This is the deep learning frontier. This is where we use specialized neural networks to handle massive, and I mean massive datasets with tons of interacting parts, all at once. Now, a word of caution here. These deep learning models, they're not for your everyday forecasting problem. You bring out the big guns like this only when you're dealing with an immense amount of data. Think forecasting sales for thousands of different products across hundreds of stores, all at the same time. That's when you need this kind of power. So the classic model here is the LSTM, which stands for long short-term memory. And the name kind of says it all, right? It has a fantastic long-term memory. It's brilliant at finding those subtle patterns that unfold over months or even years, making it perfect for really complex tasks like long-term cash flow forecasting. All right, next up, TCNNs, or temporal convolutional networks. Now this is cool. These models are actually inspired by how computers learn to see images. They basically apply a similar technique to scan through time series data super efficiently. And because of that, they're fantastic for high-frequency stuff like forecasting daily e-commerce sales. And that brings us to the transformer. I mean, this is the model that's powering the whole AI revolution we're seeing right now. It is an absolute game changer because it can look at hundreds of time series at once and learn from all of them at the same time. But here's the most important part. It can explain its own reasoning. And that for finance is absolutely massive. You have to be able to trust and audit your models. Okay, so you've got this incredible toolkit, right? From simple averages all the way to powerful transformers. But look, a tool is only as good as the person using it. So what are the fundamental rules of the road for actually using this toolkit effectively? Let's break it down into 4 essential rules. Rule number 1, always start with a simple baseline. Rule 2, bring in machine learning when you've got complex drivers. 3, only use deep learning when you have big data. And rule number 4, keep your entire process auditable. That last one, yeah, that's non-negotiable. You see, this toolkit, it's more than just a collection of algorithms. It's really a new way of thinking. It's about making that shift from just reporting on what happened in the past to actively shaping what's going to happen in the future. The only question left is, are you ready to start building?